and I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
For all time's sake. As time goes by.
Started hanging out with Dion again because he old faithful. We going to the Eminem Rihanna concerts at the Rose Bowl. We hanging out. We laughing. We having good times. But it's not the same as what it used to be because, bitch, you got married on me.
I know, but what did you do? I mean, we weren't really on talking terms, and, you know, you gotta kind of take accountability for shit you did. What did you do? You know what you did. You was accusing me of cheating every time I went to church. What kind of shit is that? Oh, that church, that's what they call it, huh? Nigga, I'm going to go see Jesus. Oh, that's where you're going, that's what they call it. Shut up! Like, and really be threatening. That's not healthy. Yeah, I wanted away from that energy. Yes, I did. So, yeah, I got married. The shit failed. I feel like a fucking failure. Don't rub it in. Shut the up. Let's just hang out and enjoy each other. And that was our dynamic for a little while. And then, you know, I helped him, like, with his read-through for Blackish. He got it. He started killing that shit. And the chick who helped get him that job, they was already dealing. They was already dealing with each other. But, I mean, I guess it got to another level, and then he started getting distant. I told you I was seeing somebody. I told you it's not the same as it was. You can't just pick back up and come in when you feel like it. Okay, you're sounding like a wounded housewife. Relax. You already know what this is, but fine. You know, and so I had to respect the space. But also, he was getting reckless again, and you can't talk to me like that. We've already dealt with that. So now I'm going my way. He going his way. And, you know, we not really talking. I end up getting wilding out on his birthday. January 9th. That's the day was my audition, all that shit. I left out an important part of the story. Okay, so back when Nick and Eminem was like beefing and shit, like that weird period or whatever, when it was beating over Mariah and she made that, why are you so obsessed with me? Oh.
Why are you so obsessed with me? Why are you so obsessed with me? Oh.
Nick asked Dion to write some bits for his stand-up special. And that was the first time I ever got to see and be around Nick. I was never, ever around Nick before that. Like, I had been in LA since 2008. And when I got to LA, that was on the tail end of Nick leaving Kim Kardashian because that tape came out. I was in LA. I was there for that. That's how long I was in LA, okay? But I had never been around Nick before that. So, you know, we going and meet him at CBS Radio over on Fairfax and Wilshire, 2, 3 in the morning. He picking us up in a G-Wagon. We going to, like, you know, the higher up or whatever. And I think he was doing, like, late night radio or something like that. And, you know, we met with him and shit. And he's basically explaining to Dion, like, what he looking for. Dion, like, cool, right, I got you. We go, we, like, bang out some bits at the crib. They was hilarious. I mean, it was all kind of, like, if Dave Mariah doing nigga shit, bringing a helicopter with the take on E. It was like all kind of ignorant shit. But we had, like, we're comics, man. We're comics. shit, you know, you gotta learn how to laugh and shit. So we had like jokes about like him versus Eminem and shit, and him going to get all his black cousins and all that shit. Apparently he must have not liked it, okay? Why y'all gotta bring up that nigga? You know, it triggered something. He ain't like it. He didn't use the jokes. And like there was something going on, and he didn't pay Dion, and Dion is just not the guy you don't pay. So that was something. What it was, I can't really say specifically because I wasn't involved in it after that point. I don't know nothing. I really don't. I can't say. I can't say. I don't. But that was the thing. That happened. Okay, fast forward. Wilding out time. That was what was happening. So Dion's out the picture. Like he wasn't around. He wasn't, you know. And we had all that history, and we had that relationship, and we had, you know, all that shit before this. You know what I mean? That he was part of my life for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And then it got after 2012. It got choppy. It was intermittently. He was off. It wasn't what it was. Especially once Brooklyn came to fucking LA. Like they was always dipping the fuck off together and shit. And she couldn't stand me, and we was being like fake nice to each other and shit for his sake, you know. Because that's told me I'm, you know, that bullshit. So he wasn't in the picture. Is the point? But that don't stop motherfuckers, because you know men are weird. You know, women always belong to a guy, even if she's moved on and it's been 20 years. Apparently. But women, we don't have that type of clout. We gotta get over it, or else we're the crazy bitch who can't let go. Men suck sometimes. Anyway, he wasn't around, okay? That's the point. So, but I get wilding out on his birthday. And this is where I meet Nick. Nick wasn't in the first wilding out auditions neither. When I auditioned for it the first time, when it was Craig and Mike and them, Nick wasn't there for that. Nick was there for the round that I did do. And I remember I had on these fishnet stockings. I had on these Chuck Taylors. It might have been my yellow Chuck Taylors, but it could have been the black ones. I'm not sure. But I had on some Chucks, some fishnets, a red tennis skirt, and a long sleeve black shirt. And the C cups was popping back then. But they was popping. Okay, in there. Now, I did my stand-up in audition. I actually did the domestic violence joke. I did. And like it was him and Niall in the audition. And I can't remember her name, but she was one of the female producers, and she was a Virgo. I did the domestic violence joke. Nick started asking me why I did stand-up or how did I get into stand-up. I was like, I was depressed. And this happened and that happened and da-da-da. He's like, word, yeah, stand-up is. Like we had that, yeah, stand-up, dude, it does hit home, blah, 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 whatever, fuck shit, right? Okay. I make it to the next round. I get to callbacks or whatever. They like the stand-up. They like the package that I come in, all that other shit. We're great, right? So now, everybody that got to callback, we're doing Wild Style. And apparently, this is what Niall told me. I didn't know this at the time, but now ended up telling me this on the back end later. Because, we had a previous work relationship, okay? Now ended up telling me this on the back end. And he started out being the homie. And he betrayed me. But we'll get to that later. But he started out being the homie. Okay, so they had already picked the person that they wanted. Is what happened. We wilding out. They were just doing the auditions as I don't know how to say it. They were doing auditions to say they had auditions. A formality, basically. You know what I mean? They already had what they thought they did. Ooh, shout out to me, baby. They already thought they had the person. But the person wasn't from LA. They were doing auditions in multiple cities. The year I did it, they were doing LA, Atlanta, and maybe Miami. Maybe, I'm not sure. No, it was New York. Because the season I filmed it was the season that they was filming in New York. Because they started out in New York when they first brought it back. So they did a New York audition. Okay? They did an LA audition, and they did an Atlanta audition. Okay? The dude that they wanted, it was a guy. He was from Texas. Okay? Some Latino cat who was like on the rap battle, like the rap battle circuit. something else that I had, a little hand in, because I used to be real cool with the people from Grind Time. Shout out to D-Rec Williams. I used to be super cool with D-Rec and them. And they came and blessed me, and it was in one of my Velvet Circus sketches, and it was epic. We had such a fun ass time. Tiffany Harris was in that sketch, actually. I be putting people on. I'm not a hater. People have did me all kinds of shit, but I be trying to have fun. Life is too short, man. We gotta have fun out here. Anywho, so the dude was from Texas, and LA was the closest city, so they kind of had it as a formality, but they really already, was going to pick him, right? Until I showed up. I was game changer. I was surprised. I was the wild card. So we doing wild style and shit. And, I'm a real comedian. And I love the rap game. And I'm a fan of the show. So I'm already like, okay, I know it's got to be punchlines. I'm not finna... Motherfuckers was in there trying to rhyme. Like rhyme. And their shit was just like mad long. And there was no punchline. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like dry. Like people... Oh, look at your shoes. They're looking dusty. Look at your shoes. They're looking dusty like you got the blues, got the 1-2s, got me on my microphone, got my cone. I'm looking for the cues. You know what I'm saying? Like they was trying to rhyme, and it wasn't going nowhere, right? My ignorant ass was stepping in there. I don't remember. This was January 2015. Old boy was like a big guy, and I don't know. I'm sitting up here talking about he 300 pounds. Looking like, hamburger, like big a package of brown. I don't know. I'm like saying all kind of shit. I was in the moment, and I was feeding off of like his energy. Like what he was giving me, I was pushing it right back. You know what I'm saying? Like every time he walked, there's an earthquake, all kind of shit, like whatever. And he was trying to hit because I had on fishnets, a tennis skirt, and my chucks. He was trying to hit me with, yeah, I know you fucked Nick to get the job. Da, 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 da. I was like, nobody fucked Nick to get a job, but you still looking like a motherfucking slob. You still, I was, it was, and that's what made it dope. It was like the response that was like, oh, she is sticking him. And, and it was within the energy of the show. It was appropriate. Because like I said, everybody else was in there trying to, and then I'm trying to hit you with bars. I'm trying to hit you in the car, hit you everybody, near and far. Like they was trying to sugar heel gang their way in. It was like, no. And he giving it to me, I'm giving it back. But it was equal opportunity. I was going around. But I was being attacked more because I was in there with the fishnets and the tennis skirt. So they thought I was an easy target. But that was only fodder for me because it was like, yeah, I can go as hard as you. And I've still got my fishnets on. Okay, so fast forward, Nick calls time, right? And at this point, everybody, I represented. I felt pretty comfortable with what I did. I was cool. I felt like I left it all in the room and shit. And, everybody else, it was what it was. We was about to leave. Nick calls time. We was about to leave. But there was some chick. She was like an internet comic chick. And I say that not disrespectfully, but that's who she was. I never seen her on the stand-up circuit. Like, I never seen her on the stand-up circuit. But I did see, like, some Instagram sketches and shit she was doing. Okay? She goes, this ain't fair. I don't feel like I really got the chance to get my thing off. I'm nice out here. Like that. And she kind of low-key cuts Nick off. Like, Nick is like, yo, time. Thank you guys for coming. It was over. Thank you guys for coming out. Yo! She kind of cut him off. Yo! This ain't fair. I'm nice. I don't feel like I really got my chance to shine and all this shit, right? Nick looked at her. He like, hey, I said it was time. He was like, and that's it for what we doing now. I'm going to let you, he hit it with Kanye. Ironic. I'm going to let you finish. But if I let you finish, I'm telling you, don't start if it's not going to be fire. I'm going to hear you out, but it better be fire. He was like, if it ain't going to be fire, we might as well just end it. She like, no, I'm nice out here. She committed to spitting the hottest garbage. That shit was terrible. It was horrible. She had on this backwards cap. She had on like this basketball jersey, like these baggy pants. I swear to God, she looked like Ice Cube as Doughboy in Boys in the Hood. Like his look with the shag curl, all that shit. Bitch is looking like Ice Cube from Boys in the Hood. And she spits the hottest garbage. It was horrible. And then I couldn't take the bullshit no more. I was ready to go home, nigga. We been here all day. We came. They said be there at 9 a.m. I got there at 8. These niggas ain't start till 10:30. Bitch, I'm ready to go. And she's still going. And I was like, hey,
He called time and you couldn't let it slide. Instead, you standing here dressed like every rapper alive. Everybody was like, whoa, whoa, because she wanted that bitch look like Ice Cube with the curl. She looked like Ice Cube with my curl.
and Nick was like, hey. That was the most Nick and I talked to each other. I swear to God. The audition process. That was the most Nick and I talked to each other. 3 days later, they called me. Aarona, we want you. You going to New York. We got you. We're going to get you. This is how to cover. We got to work out the terms, whatever. And this is one area I did fuck up. It was wilding out. I always want to be on the show. I finally got it. Okay, cool. I'm like, I should probably have a manager or something like that. Like, whatever. I get my boy, my Scorpio boo. I don't know nothing about that. Dude, I don't even have Nick's number. I never had Nick's number. Me and Nick was never, like, socially, like, cool. Like, that never happened. Like, I was mad cooler with Niall than I was with Nick. And Niall and I never had nothing inappropriate going on. Niall and I never crossed the professional boundary lines. That never happened with us. Which later became an issue because, like, I felt like low-key he was, like, sneak dissing. I felt like he low-key, started talking down to me. And I was like, where's this energy coming from? You know what I mean? But that never happened with us. Everything was always mad professional. But, I had Niall's email. I could ask Niall questions, all that. I never had that with Nick. That never was a thing. Okay. I get the show. It's like the worst blizzard ever. And I go to New York. And wilding out, the way it works is you film it for a whole month. They usually do it during Black History Month, okay? They film the whole thing in February. They spend spring and summertime cutting it up, and they drop it in the summer, okay? The first week we got there, we have rehearsal because I know what Orlando said. I know. That there. Okay, now, the first week we have rehearsal because they want to make sure you know how to play the games, right? And we do like improv exercises to stay on our chops and shit like that. Now tells me off top. He's like, hey, these feeling. He's like, if you come up with something fly in rehearsal, keep that shit to yourself. He was like, because if it come out and you use it and it work, somebody gonna beat you to the punch and say it on camera. That's just how it works out here. Now's the EP. I feel he has no reason to lie to me. What would you want me? Plus, as I started, participating in rehearsal, I saw he wasn't lying. Shout out to Rick Michaels. Motherfuckers be stealing. And you be like, okay. He wasn't the only one, but he was out there bad. Okay, anyway. He wasn't the only one. Emmanuel, some nigga, people was out there taking jokes. Okay, amen. So I saw that, and I also peeped how they was treating me. They did me mad dirty. They did me mad dirty. They was like,
You're lying, 'cause you're stuttering.
Talking to me like I wasn't funny.
Talking to me like I wasn't funny.
They was talking to me like I was just gonna be eye candy. Like maybe I should have been the wilding out girl. All this little shit. And I really was just not trying to go full throttle because I peeped the scene. And so I started feeling depressed a little bit. Because I was like, this ain't the experience that I thought it was going to be. I really wanted this, and like, it's a boys club, it's mad sexist. And also, I was one of the older castmates because at the time I was 32, and the year I did it, they had Matt. Matt was like 15, 16 or something. And Carlos was around my age, like we was like around the same age. But everybody else, they were like 25 and, all of that. So like their humor was just so young and immature to me. I'm fresh off a divorce, y'all. Okay, just let's be, I'm grown as fuck. So, it was that. And then, you know, like, you know how you work on set and shit, and y'all be trying to go and get into debauchery and shit after you, well, I mean, some of y'all may know, y'all may not know, but you be trying to get into debauchery, you know, just have fun and shit after you, like, tape and shit. I couldn't really kick it with them. It wasn't, their vibe wasn't shit. I wasn't on it, you know? And so I wasn't, you know, I didn't want to go smoke with them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't clicking. So I ended up hanging out with Scorpio Boo, my 04 Boo Dip and shit, because he was out there and he was working for, you know, like a high end luxury marketing firm and shit. He had the time and, you know, the ability to kick it on some grown shit like what I was on. And I also needed him there for like emotional support because, you know, he was somebody who knew me before comedy. And I was ignorant all my life. I've always been like a jokester in a sense. I just didn't have like, you know, it took me a minute to build my confidence, you feel me? But he knew me before the comedy shit. And it kind of felt good having somebody around me who knew who Aarona was, right? Especially because I was like dealing with all this other bullshit. It was like mad sexist. And then they bring Rosa Acosta on. Rosa Acosta was a wild and out girl, but they want to make her a cast member. They're writing all Rosa shit. And it's just like, so y'all just gonna script out what she's doing and have her be a cast member when you have a female cast member right here? Like, this is just what we're doing? What y'all trying to say? You know what I mean? It felt real disrespectful. And so I was feeling like a little sad about it. And my Scorpio boo, he was like, what the fuck these niggas on the show saying? He was like, nigga, nigga. He's like, Aarona, I'm seeing you do stand up. You funny. He's like, and I don't like nothing. He doesn't like anything. He likes nothing. He's like, I don't like nothing. Yeah, I know. He was like, so what you worried about? Just be yourself, right? That's it. So I got that pep talk. And then Rail was in New York shooting his show, Friends of the People. I ain't talked to Rail in years. Rail's divorced now. Oh, here's another, because we debunking all this bullshit. So Rail got married like 6 months to a year after we fell out over Dion Gate, because that became a real thing in Chicago. Like, I mean, mother was not fucking with me, for real. And I just became the biggest slur, all this bullshit, right? And it was just like, over what? Over who? Like, how? Like, and then, like I said, like, but that's what always, no, I never, and we never, and then you on the backstory found out, hey, man, yes, she did. And then later, she'll even, it'd be like, you motherfuckers suck. Like, it was all kinds of shady energy. And, like, you know, allegedly, I broke Rail's heart so bad that he didn't want to be a player no more. He wanted to get married. I hurt him so badly, he ended up in a marriage. That was the storyline. Like, I don't even want to be out. I after Aarona, I don't want to do anything else. So now I'm divorced, and he divorced. And he hit me, you know, with some, I was young then. We were young then. I've learned so much now. Aarona, I have kids now. I'm mature now. We should give this another shot. I wasn't feeling it at first. He's like, Aarona, just let me show you. Just let me show. I'm different. We different. Like, we're so much older. We have so much in common now. Whoever think we be in New York at the same time and we're both divorced. Like, we was doing all that shit. Him and Hugh Moore worked on his show, Friends of the People, for True TV. Hugh Moore also used to work for Wild 'N Out. He wrote for it for 2 seasons, okay? Yes, wrote for it. You heard what I said, okay. So, I'm telling Hugh what's going on, and he was like, oh, don't worry about that shit. That's just rehearsal. You know, rehearsal and shit. And I was like, but it, like, oh, here's the other part. They run that shit like a fraternity, okay? So it's always this threat over your head that if the shit ain't funny, if the shit ain't working, we sending you home. And I was like, it was embarrassment. Like, it was like you would feel embarrassed because I ain't getting sent home. You other motherfuckers ain't funny. I'm gonna be on all episodes. You know, like that. That was the energy. You feel me? Like, I ain't getting sent home. Somebody else got to get sent home. And then Carlos, his ass was stupid though. It's too many of you motherfuckers. I gotta split this money up with all y'all. Like that's the shit he was on. Too many of you motherfuckers. How many castmates you hiring, Nick? What the fuck is this? Like it was that. So it was all of this. Y'all gonna get sent home. Y'all gonna get sent home. All that shit. And I'm like, damn, I ain't come this far to get sent home. Like, damn, you know. And Hugh gave me the biggest game. He was like, fuck all that shit they talking about. Take it in stride. Keep showing up to rehearsal. Show up on time. He was like, all that matters is what happens when you tape. None of that other shit matters. He was like, make the most. He's like, because it's camera time. And once they got it on film, they got to use it. All that matters is what happened when you tape. I took that and I took that to heart. So then I really started dumbing down. I had to use the 48 laws of power. Be dumber than your mark. I did that. I was on that shit. I was like, well, I got to get out there for that. I ain't going to do it. Because niggas was stealing. I ain't get no episodes at first. I was so sad. I was like, they really not finna cast me or nothing. That's fucked up. And mind you, I'm getting hit on. DJ D-Rex talking to me all kind of crazy. Like, I'm just like, damn. Chris Brown didn't show up. Chris Brown was supposed to be on that season. Something happened. Chris Brown didn't make it. He didn't show up. They replaced him with, I think, Fat Joe. Because Fat Joe did that season. He let them niggas have it. You young niggas ain't funny. I did this show back in 05, and it was lit then. Where was you? You know, it was all that shit. Shaq did it that season. Shaq got off. That was the episode I wish I was in. That Shaq episode was fly. I was watching that in the crowd like, ooh. Kevin Hart did it that season. I won in the Kevin episode. Which they had this season where, they had this game, and they only did this game on Kevin's episode. They didn't do it on nobody else's episode but Kevin, where they was doing a roast battle. And they roast was so weak. And Kevin was lighting them niggas up. You know? They roast was so weak. And I was like, wow, I'm a stand-up comic and I'm a writer. And I started looking at now sideways. Because I was like, nigga, you know me. You already seen what I did with Hip Hop Squares. Like, so then I ended up getting the Ray J and the Lil Duval episode. And I wanted that episode. And after all of these episodes that had taped and I wasn't on none of them motherfuckers, I was like, man, I'm about to show my ass. When I tell you I got a bill for every fucking thing I did that episode, I let it off. They was all on some, machismo shit. It was one of the Wild 'N Out girls that was trying to throw me the pussy, okay? She was cute. And I flirted with her. It was the Let Me Holler game. The game where they get a Wild 'N Out girl, they bring her on stage, and they be trying to holler, and like they always do some shit. Nigga do some shit like pull a watch off and be like, come on. That dumb shit. They be doing all that shit. I get my ass out there. And, I said some shit like roses are red, violets are blue. I was like, you looking good? And my fingers work too. And it was like, ah! And it was great. Like, it was a great little TV moment. They cut it. I think it was too explicit or some shit. Oh, but I was like, my fingers work too. I sucked on my hand and shit. Nigga, I was amazing. Do you hear me? Bells, 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 bells. That's the episode I twerked on Ray J. I threw all that ass back. Ray J couldn't handle that shit. I wanna be the big shot. I wanna be on top. Ray J, I know you the man for the job. That was funny. The song Games was my shit. And it was weird because they like Chico and E-Man were like the unofficial appointed leaders of those games. And they was really getting offended if they didn't get the lead. And it's like, but y'all don't even have musical ability. I do. You know what I mean? Child. It was like the battle it was all that bullshit. But every time I taped, I made the most of it. The audience, that audience is so fucking lit. Like for real, for real. Like the energy from the moment, like when you start rolling and that beat drop and shit, that was what made it all worth it. The minute we started taping, the shit was hot. And I got off so nasty in that episode. I made them regret not putting me in another episode. And so they instantly, they gave me the Snoop one after that. They gave me the Mac Wiles one after that. And then I went to the All-Star game. I don't know why that made people mad. I don't know what part about that had anything to do with my job. But it was this whole, Aarona was at the All-Star game, and clearly she had floor tickets, and who did she fuck to get those tickets, and what's she doing at the All-Star game? Aarona was at the All-Star game with Nick. No, Nick was at the game with his kids. Like, I wasn't even sitting nowhere near Nick. Like, I was sitting with my friend. I was with Scorpio Boo. you know. But I went because it was February. Oh, she went to All-Star Weekend. Fuck that bitch. She don't need this job. That was energy. She don't need this job. Rail started showing up to the tapings, for moral support. And Rail actually made it to the first one, the one with Ray J. So Rail saw this shit from the onset of what it became. Scorpio Boo was faking moves. Scorpio Boo was like, oh, I want to see. But then Scorpio Boo tried to start acting Hollywood. Can I get a +1? And I'm like, you're doing too much. Like, no, we don't. Dude. I'm barely on the show at this point because I don't know what the fuck they are. And so I'm not sitting up here trying to pull extra favors. Are you coming? Yes or no? Like, let's not make this about you. Just show the fuck up, right? Rail ends up coming and he brings Hugh. And, Rail, at this point, Rail has his own TV show on True TV and shit. And he's Rail. He's accomplished enough in stand-up where they know who the fuck he is. Rail, all day. Fuck you talking about what that dude? Like, they was doing all that shit. So they started rolling out the red carpet for Rail. Rail ain't even a castmate. And everybody, oh, Rail, much respect. Now, hey, if you want to come through and just do a couple episodes. Now we get episodes for Rail? So I get off on that episode. I get off crazy. I get off that episode so crazy, the producers come snatch me and they have me do the Sprite drops. Like, what are you gonna do with your new Wild 'N Out fame? Like, they was asking me them questions. I was like, oh, is this how this happens? It was lit. That part was lit. I ain't finna front. And I was being myself. They're like, what makes you thirsty? I was like, 6 feet tall men, like I was just on some bullshit. But my segments was popping, right? And they was like, yo, this is great. Rail ass, Aarona, you're a natural. I hate this. Aarona, you're a natural. He was like, man, I'm really proud of you. We go out and have some seafood and shit. This motherfucker landed on thick.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old